Happy Monday. This is Ask Andy Anything Monday. Sometimes it's Wednesday, sometimes it's Thursday. The Guardians don't play. There's some interesting news that came out of Browns camp today as they played, I shouldn't say Browns camp, the scrimmage with the Eagles. Garrett walked off. It seems like he's okay. Denzel Ward walked off. Sounds like he's going to be okay. Conklin might have left with a concussion. That is obviously, hopefully hopefully that's not the case. Because that's a concussion. That's serious. So that's what came out of the Eagles practice today. It did sound like, from everything indication, it was a defensive day. Defensive backs played really well for the Browns. I was reading Mary Kay Cabot and Tony Grossi. Thoughts on top 25? I think the Buckeyes need to be focused on one thing, and that's what you're alluding to. They need to allude to who is playing quarterback. From everything A-Train I've read for the Buckeyes, everything. They are loaded wide receiver, loaded at running back, loaded everywhere else. They need to find their quarterback who that's going to be. It sounds like it's McCord, but time will tell. I don't care about preseason rankings. They mean nothing in college football. The Buckeyes beat the Hoosiers, beat the Irish. They'll be in the top 2 or 3 in the country. Greetings from the TMV. CT, born and bred. Good for you. Exciting. So you can ask me anything you want. Colin, good to see you, Colin. Good fan. From what I heard, he did fine. The defense is dominated. That includes the Eagles. But the big thing I heard today that was in the negative column was Chubb fumbled a handoff, but it sounds like it was on both Watson and Chubb on a simple handoff. That's, don't like to hear about that in practice. And Cooper dropped 2 passes. Not feeling good about the Guardians right now. Cleveland Buckeye, this is a young team that's trying to figure itself out while at the same time trying to win a division. That is not usually how it goes in sports. You either are rebuilding or you're trying to go for a pennant, or in this case, a division. They can't do both. So because of that, they're kind of all over the place. They are definitely trying to figure out what to do with these young kids. And then on top of it, they were never planning on having Josh Naylor injured, Tyler Freeman injured, so they're just all over the map. It's kind of messy. The one thing I'll say, though, that young pitching for the Guardians is crazy good. Bybee, Williams, and Allen are very, very good, especially Williams and Bybee. Cam, what's going on with Franco? He made some inappropriate comments. Sounds like he was dating an underage girl. I've been trying to find the post of what happened. I didn't find anything. But Franco is being investigated for having I guess we'll just say, a relationship with an underage female. Cade York, I don't understand the calmness from some. Kent State 1. I don't feel good about Cade York. I would bring Robbie Gould in. I would bring another kicker in. I don't trust Cade York. Here's my example of my feelings on Cade York. The Browns tie the game on a touchdown, and they need the extra point to win. I don't think Cade York's going to make it. Good to see you. Cleveland Buckeye 216. Ohio State's focus has to be beating the team up north. It's Cleveland Buckeye 216. That's everything this year. They cannot turn this into a John Cooper situation. They must beat Michigan. It is that big. It is everything this year. You're right. They can go 7-5, but they beat Michigan. Everything's fine. They go 11-1 and lose to Michigan. It is heartbreak hotel. Cam, it didn't sound like it was that bad, though, on the defensive side. Denzel Ward made a great play, and Grossi really highlighted the defense. It sounds like Denzel Ward made a great interception, and it sounds like Martin Everson, who I really like, was all over the field. Ohio State, Georgia, and Bama are on the same boat. They are. And in fact, no one wants to hear this, Michigan, with everybody returning, should be highly thought of. I mean, they play a cupcake non-conference. The Wolverines should be there at the end of the season. I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State this year. But they should be there. I mean, they have everybody returning. If you want a sneaky team, there's a lot of people writing about 3 clubs that I really do like for like an underdog. Not underdog, but getting in that world. LSU, Clemson, Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame with that quarterback could sneak in. Notre Dame's got a brutal schedule. Bubble wrap the Browns, and yes, Cade York is awful. I just don't trust the young man. I hope Cade York figures it out, but I can't trust it. Heavenly greetings, my dear beloved son. Universe Messenger, good to see you. Thank you. Can't take our eyes off Penn State either. They also have the same situation as the Buckeyes, new quarterback. They have that young man from Cleveland, Minter, who's going to be the starting quarterback possibly. Penn State is always good. I don't trust Franklin in a big spot. Just don't. The team that I'm going to be watching for future years is Nebraska. I think Nebraska has got the right coach, Matt Rule. That program's been dormant under a coma for too long. I think that is going to be the school to watch in future years. Thank you, Universe Messenger. I've never been called pretty before. But thank you. Also, things to watch for this week. The Guards play the Reds. They're coming up on a series, and they go to Aloha, Hawaii. Where you been? Go Cleveland Sports and Buckeyes. Exciting time here in mid-August. Did you see they ranked Trevion 11th? Look, 7th? Yeah, look. Again, just win. Rule will turn Nebraska around. He is a college coach. I agree with you, San Diego fan. I think Matt Rule, that is a perfect fit. That is a hungry fan base. When I was growing up, Nebraska just reloaded in the 80s and 90s. Just reloaded with Tom Osborne. It has been dormant for too long. How's your betting been going? So. I did really well in poker. I've not gambled on sports so much. I will do a lot in the fall, a lot in the winter. I love gambling on football and basketball. But I don't do a lot in the summer. I'm not a big baseball betting guy. Of the three schools, McCord is better than any of the Bama quarterbacks, Georgia quarterbacks. What we're going to see, I hear a lot of good things about the Georgia quarterbacks. I hear and read a lot of good things about them. I think McCord is not under or overrated. I think he's kind of neutral. You don't hear anything about Devin Brown. It's been the weirdest summer for the Buckeyes. You usually hear a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. You're just not hearing anything. Bama's quarterback situation's a murky mystery. You're the best too, Hawaii. I hope. By the way, how are you doing over there? Are you in Maui with those fires? Scary stuff. Ohio State is 3, and how's Michigan 2? Michigan's got everybody returning. I agree with you on baseball betting. I'm not into it. I can't get into it. I love betting on college football. I love betting on NFL. I love betting on basketball. We'll be doing all sorts of stuff. There's a guy I'm working with now named Tony Camino who really knows the stuff. We'll be doing all sorts of stuff with the betting. I used to Matthew Leiber. I don't have time for fantasy football, and I really mean that. I'm busy doing this. I'm busy doing articles for BelieveInLand.com. I'm busy doing a bunch of films. I just don't have time. In fantasy football and I love fantasy baseball. You need to be devoted. I just don't have the time. I don't dislike the sport, though. I actually won. In fantasy sports, I was either one way or the other. I either won the whole thing or last. That was my whole trajectory. I've won quite a bit of money, and I've lost quite a bit of money in fantasy. I probably even at the betting table with that stuff. All right, so real quickly, we're going to wrap this up a little quicker tonight. That's the Brown stuff. Again, Ward walks off, Garrett walks off, but it sounds like they're going to be okay. They both went to the medical tent, according to Grossi and Mary Kay Cabot, so that's credit to them. And then it does sound like, according to both Grossi and Mary Kay, it does sound like Conklin has a concussion possibly. That's terrible news. Never want to hear something like that. Basketball and individual sports betting is all. Yeah, I agree with you. Completely agree. I love March Madness. I love bowl season too. I love a little bowl season betting. There's nothing more than betting on a, Boise State Bowl. Carnell Tate is my sleeper for PT this year. I can see that. I think Henderson's the one to watch for the Buckeyes. I think he's going to be the star. And I think Marvin Harrison Jr. might win the Heisman. I think he's that good. I think Marvin Harrison Jr., forget loyalties and everything else, just pure NFL pro, he is the best player in college football. He is an absolute star. Ask anything, Andy. We'll do one more minute, then we get out of here. We can talk Cavs too. Cavs schedule comes out this week. Not the NBA does like a drop, so they don't really have like a date on when it's going to happen. The tournament schedule gets announced tomorrow, where they're doing an in-season tournament this year that will have some implications on the regular season record. Then the Cavs schedule comes out. They just drop it. It's usually on Thursday or Friday. So I'm assuming that this week. And I gave you the Brown stuff. Guardians are off. Play the Reds. I love DTR. He just has that it factor. I think DTR is very good. I think 1 year of just sitting out as a third string and learning the production of football will be so good for him. I think DTR has a chance to be something very special. And I love the idea of him learning from Josh Dobbs, learning from Deshaun Watson. I think that kid has got a very, very special opportunity to be good. Excited about DTR. Just needs to learn. I think it needs time to grow. All right. BelieveInTheLand.com. Believe in the Land on YouTube. Check it all out. Have a great night. Agreed. Be back on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Guards Red Legs.